Test. Can you hear back and?
Yeah.
On that side? Yeah. Test. Can you hear back and?
Yeah.
On that side? Yeah.
Meeting of the third city council for August the 25th, 2026 is called to order. Remind you to silence your phones, please. And remain standing for the opening prayer and the pledge of allegiance to the flag.
First, I'd like to apologize. Because we do not have a quorum, we will still hear everyone. There'll just be for discussion only. With that said, Minister Philip, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Yes, and we can bow our heads, please. Eternal God, our Father, we thank you for allowing us just to be alive yet another day. We also thank you for this opportunity to meet and to discuss views of one another, Father God. We pray that you allow us to have this meeting in decency and in order, and we'll give you all the honor, the glory, and the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Maybe see you. Have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Grimes, Councilmember Hampton,
Here.
Councilmember Wolcott, Vice Mayor Landry,
Here.
Mayor Gibson.
Just skip over this. Somebody to do this. Y'all bear with me, I don't do this very often. I do welcome all of you here, glad to see this crowd tonight. This time is set aside for our citizens and the general public to address the council on any matter that is not on the agenda. This is not a question or answer time. It's not a political forum, nor is it a time for personal accusations or derogatory remarks to or about the council or city personnel. If you would like to address the council, please come to the podium when you are called, speak into the microphone, and state your name and address for the record. Please also limit your comments to not more than 5 minutes for individuals and 10 minutes for groups or delegations. Mr. Jackson, you're standing, I assume you have something for us.
Yes, I'll be brief. I'm Andy Jackson, live at 411 Plantation Road. I saw in the paper that there's a discussion about budget for travel for the city council. And it was most distressing to hear that there was no budget at all for travel at all proposed for the council. You know, this isn't, as some folks would say, a vacation for the city council to get out. Traveling outside for and being exposed to these other city council people from around the state, certainly in our North Florida area, this is an investment. And I think that we should pay more attention to this investment. The only thing that I would recommend is like we do our capital budget, that we actually make a budget for travel with the sole purpose of doing development for the city and for representing our city in things that they participate in. One of which is the North Central Florida Regional Planning Council. Now, the Planning Council needs help. They're one of the least staffed planning councils in the region or in the area. If you take a look at some of the other planning councils, they've got an adequate budget and adequate staff to take on zoning and land development issues in this North Florida area. But we don't seem to be able to do that. The other thing I notice is when I go to economic development meetings, like I've been going for the last several years, I see representatives from, city councils and county commissions from certainly Live Oak, Lake City, and even Cross City. And even, you know, Putnam County as well. They're from all over the region. They're there participating and discussing what it takes to improve their city and to basically, they have a plan. They're working together as a team. Now, we've been very generous in letting, John Hart go. But quite frankly, as a businessman, this is like sending to hire him to do the owner's job. So I propose that you increase your budget. You certainly have a plan about how you're going to use the money. Have a focus as to how you're going to spend the money. And just off of a number that I've kind of come up with off the top of my head, that number ought to be somewhere around $25,000. But you ought to have a plan to support it. If you don't have a plan, that's why you don't need a budget. So that's all, that's what I have to say. And I wish the rest of the council was here to be to say this. And in the next meeting, I'll come back and say it again. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else thought on the agenda would like to speak? We'll move on through. Are there any bids or AFQs? No. Okay, so under general business, Mr. Coons was here from the North Florida Regional Planning Council to discuss a matter, but because we don't have a forum, he informed us that he would come back at the next meeting when we had a forum. Item 6B, council to discuss task order for Ardura to start design on wastewater project and council to take any actions deemed necessary.
I can give you update if you want, and then just, when you're
You'll have to come back to.
So the task order is actually, you know, the funds we are getting now, it was to start the design work. We approved water one last time, this one will be the wastewater. So that will start the design work for all your sewer systems. The other piece of great news, you remember last meeting when I was here, you know, we said we have applied for some grant for some odor control and some other projects. So the good news is we got all. So we applied for about 12.7 million and we got approximately 9. So that's to do all your infrastructure work and the odor control, few others. So it's a good news. It's portion of the money is towards the water treatment plant design. So which leaves you more money for the construction. So it's part of the overall effort. So as of now, you have 12.7 million.
Thank you, good work.
And it's all through a small community.
I guess we're gonna let them know that the odor control is for the Water Avenue project. So maybe we won't have that smell over there anymore.
But like everything else, once we put it on, we have to maintain. So that's the one carry on. I'll just say, no, that's in works now. You will not see the funds coming because we have to go for applications, everything else. So the funds will be available somewhere around December, January.
December 10th.
With that, I'll see you next meeting.
Thank you very much. Okay. Item 6C is the boys to kings and girls to queens to address the council and Connell to take any action, the council to take any action deemed necessary.
How you all doing today?
You're great. How are you?
I want to hand these to you all. Give us a second. Then, we have, yes, we're gonna also have these guys. AJ. My name is Marvin Matier. Yeah, okay, all right, AJ 847. Yeah, you want to pass. So good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to be here, and I promise to be brief, so I wrote everything down. I have learned, if I don't write it down, people say, man, you're gonna be a preacher one day. And when I started talking, I seem to believe that. So I wrote everything down, and I'm going to go verbatim to what I have here. And I had KJ share with everyone so we can all be on the same page. Okay, so my name is Coach Mervin Matier. I'm from Madison, Florida, and I have with me Letitia Miller. Okay, and I'll explain their role in a little bit. I've done so much in my life, but I focus on three things now. Being a husband, a father, and a grandfather. Yeah. I told my grandbaby, don't call me anything other than granddaddy, because I earned that. So I'm all about family, and I know for a fact that strong families can create better and stronger communities. So with that being said, as a CEO of the Grassroots and Family Mentoring Organization, Boys to Kings and Girls to Queens, a 4-time back-to-back Best of Florida and Family Service winning, serving Madison, Leon, Taylor, and Hamilton counties that was established in 2009 in my 10x20 backyard man cave. We are a 501c3 dropout prevention mentoring organization serving youth ages 5 to 17. Although we serve over 200 youth, Taylor County has grown at a fast rate through their leadership, passion, and love for the youth, families, and this great county. Currently, Taylor is the only county outside of Madison who decided to take on a Girls to Queens branch in addition to their already thriving Boys to Kings branch. Currently, they serve around 70 young people, and although they visit the schools weekly in partnership with the district to deliver professional mentoring services, they have delivered the after-school study hall and group sessions in places that can't be called home yet. Our motto is not this one, not your child, not mine. So we refuse to lose youth on our watch. Our partnerships currently consist of the Department of Juvenile Justice, the Madison County Sheriff's Office, Taylor County School District, and many more. We currently have 21 team members across the 4 counties we serve who devote their time to empowering the youth and families. One of the highlights of our organization is the required parent engagement component, where parents have to attend a 1-hour monthly parent huddle, which is a meeting where they learn what we are teaching the youth, updates, ways they can get involved, how they can be supported by the other parents, etc. The team members in Taylor are BTK and GTQ lead senior parent liaison and mentor, Mr. Kenneth Fuller. BTK senior parent liaison and mentor, Mr. Greg Flowers. BTK mentor and liaison, Mr. Robert Murphy. Girls to Queens senior parent liaison, Ms. Letitia Miller, and GTQ parent liaison, Ms. Tangela Woodall. Our purpose here today is to acquire about the possible permanent usage of your Lothridge Park building to give our youth of Taylor County a place to call home. The youth in Madison has a place to call home, as well as the youth in Hamilton County. So as we work on establishing partnerships, we would like to be identified as a resource and asset to your county as at this potential new home. Because the youth will be taught in group fashion, life skills, social skills, anti-gun violence, fire safety, as well as 12 guiding principles such as respecting my elders, respecting self, honoring family, never giving up, and many more. The youth will and currently are being fed a meal or snack each night after group sessions. Parents will continue to be empowered and mentally at ease, knowing that there is a safe place for their youth to grow and become productive adults. 2 bullet points. What we offer: weekly tutoring, weekly school visits, and individual and group mentoring sessions, after school group sessions, monthly parent huddles, field trips to colleges, professional sports and events, etc. Scholarships when you complete services and walk the stage. Scholarships are presented publicly. $100 for any youth who make all A's on any report card. Mandatory goals and system forms completed every 9 weeks to teach them how to live and not just exist. A meal or snack after every group session, paid youth jobs such as president, vice president, etc. that they have to interview for. Automatic community service hours for attending the sessions and contributing to creating a healthy environment. Accountability through our corrective action forms to keep them accustomed to following rules and utilizing self-control. All of these services are free to every parent. We just desire to see the youth grow into a productive adult. So although it seems like hard work, really is heart work. My last bullet: successes. Over the years, we have graduated roughly 17 young men who are now married, in the military, fathers, and 0 are in prison, or a menace to society. Currently, we have 2 once 6th grade youth who were bullied, who joined BTK and now in their mid-20s as college graduates. Both are back serving as mentors. I will yield there, and I'll give Mr. Kenny and Ms. Miller a chance to share their why. Then we'll have our youth say something, then we're going straight into the question and answer, and we're out of your way, okay?
I'm Kenneth Fuller. My address is 104 South Beverly Street, Perry, Florida. One of the reasons why I feel is that it has to be done. Someone has to give our kids a safe haven. Someone has to teach our kids about communication, effective strategy, problem solving, conflict resolution. Someone has to teach our kids how to grow in the right direction. Someone has to show them that it has to be done. We can't just keep speaking about what has to be done in the community, what can't be done in the community. Someone actually has to put that foot down and show these kids that it is possible. With the mentorship that I had growing up, and I know that it's possible, so that is my way of giving back to my community to show each kid that it is possible.
Letitia Miller, 108 El Paso Drive, Perry, Florida. My why is because it takes a village. Parents can't do it by themselves. Things have changed so much. And if I know that I can help one make a change, that the parent might have to tap out and I can tap in, then I want to be that person that taps in. We know it, we know we need it. It's much needed around here, in every neighborhood, everything that we do. And I want to give them life skills, them social skills that they need so they can be productive citizens.
And just so Taylor County know, we do intentionally sponsor. You see Ms. Casey here? Ms. Casey, see, partnership with the schools. We sponsor a lot. We sponsor the football team. We sponsor the golf team. We sponsor the soccer team. You know, we do all we can to make sure we give them back to, because this community is important. I'm gonna tell you all this. I have an 18-year-old son that's in family right now, but he was premature and he almost lost his life. And I rushed to the hospital, and I'm going off the charts here, but just bear with me. In Madison, rushed to the hospital, and he was in a lifeless state. I couldn't do anything. And a man grabbed my son, took him in the back, and within 3 minutes, my son was breathing again. That man lived in Perry. Matter of fact, H.B. Pemberton, one of his sisters was not work for the city or somewhere, but that man saved my son. So I have a soft spot in my heart for Taylor County, because they came through for me. Okay. Now we have a young guy up here, and one thing that we do, we teach our youth to quit speaking negativity over your life and speak life, son. You got this. So he's going to recite the Boys and Kids principle, and he's not going to mess up because he got this, right? It's he. So you take the podium. You want him to give his name and address. You want him to do all that too. Get up here, son. Do what everybody else did, and then you want to give. You want us to back you up. Okay. So what we do is the youth at every session, they say They say it and the whole group backed them up because we want to succeed. Name, address. Let's go. Let's go.
My name Ken McComb. I live in 214 Major Drive. I'm here to say, voice King Marshall.
Are y'all ready, everybody in the back? Okay.
I'm voice King.
I am Boyd the King.
I'm in control of my choices.
I'm in control of my choices.
I refuse to blame others.
I refuse to blame others.
I am great.
I am great.
I am a leader.
I am a leader.
And I am royalty.
And I'm royalty.
I take pride in treating others.
I take pride in treating others.
Just how I desire to be treated.
Just how I desire to be treated.
Respecting females is not an option.
Respecting females is not an option.
It's a requirement.
It's a requirement.
Valuing my family.
Valuing my family.
Being respectful.
Being respectful.
And being responsible.
Being responsible.
Makes me a king.
Makes me a
I
king.
will not settle for the crumbs of life.
I will not settle for the crumbs of life.
I will not waste one life that I have.
I will not waste one life that I have.
Listen.
I will listen. I will learn. And I will self-discover.
And then I'll apply the content.
Then I will apply the content.
When you look at me now.
When you look at me now,
You should see great.
you should see great.
When you see me in the future.
When you see me in the future,
You will see great.
you will see great.
Fine voice king.
Proud voice king. Give him a hand, please, Donald. That's all we have. Are there any questions for me or my team? Don't stay right here on this side, right?
I'm sorry, we don't have full four.
That's fine.
Tonight, but we appreciate the presentation.
I gotta run this back again. I gotta come again. We good?
Is it Christian based? Is it Christian based?
Yeah, so guy, he asked, is it Christian based? What one of our principals speaks about that? Who know what it is? Oh, I see y'all outside, praying internally. Praying internally, so man, listen, everything that we do, this is a faith walk. It came to me in a vision, 4:30 a.m. You know that pillow talk with your wife, you know, hey, I gave her the vision and she supported it, and it's here now, it's a reality. So yeah, it's all, everything we do is about serving God, man. We don't need nobody's money. We want to save these youth. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we have.
Tell us what you want.
So what we want is, so currently there's a building we're utilizing. Okay, now, of course, we have funds coming in. We don't have tons of funds coming in. So as a 501c3, we need a place where these youth can call home. If there's a spot here and we had our eyes on Lockridge Park, if that's even up for option, we could maintain it. Well, anything we gotta do, we want our youth to be able to go somewhere where they know I'm meeting here, I'm not meeting there this week, here this week, there. No, they know where they're coming at, and that's their spot. And the parents know that the atmosphere is soft. And Brother Kenny is a praying man. He gonna bless it. He can be blessed in every place he goes to. We gotta get something and lock it in. And I know for a fact it will be an asset to Taylor County because we're not losing our youth. Now, a lot of folks talk, but we're walking this thing out. And kudos to our Principal Casey for allowing us to come in that school and mentor these youth, man. Listen, I gotta say this, some schools you can't get into. They don't want you in, but she understands the value of partnerships. So to answer your question, that's what we want. We want to be able to, with your permission, take that over if all possible, and we will take care of that for you all. How would that look?
Are you talking about just the bill itself or the whole part?
You gonna rent, can I borrow your lawnmower, brother? Come on. I've been out there, that's a lot there. You know, but listen, I will say this. There's a big God, right? All right, so I'm not gonna think small. If in your mind, you think the whole park, take the park, baby. Take the park. We would take whatever, okay, I'm just saying, she said, no, that's too much, but I'm just, hey, I serve a big God. So, but yeah, but definitely that's what be the plan right there, man.
I'm all
Yeah.
for it too.
Okay,
I support it as well.
I appreciate the support, and I do want to add that we actually have a waiting list for Girls of Queens. There's over 30 girls waiting to get into the program, and for Boys of Kings, that's over 44 youth.
Yeah.
Boys that are waiting to get into the program. In Taylor County.
yes, oh no, it's it.
In
It's
Taylor
it.
County.
If you all ever wanna come out, come check us out. We're doing, they just had a brunch, a girls, matter of fact, hey, there's some parents here. Sometimes we can be talking, trying to sell something, but parents will tell the truth, and they have to be, there's a parent right here on this front, on the second row here, Miss Murphy. She don't miss, I'm sorry, yeah.
We have someone before your parents.
Oh, do you?
Who's to speak on your behalf?
On my behalf? Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, shoot.
thank you.
Ex-council Michigan.
To the council. My name is Pat Patterson. My address is 333 First Street. I am very grateful. You don't know me, and I don't know you, but I know Mr. Fuller, and I know my sister here as well. But our spirits in the right place, meaning that you care. Not only you care, you're showing love. And love is an action verb. You got to put it in action. What you're doing, you put it in action, you're not talking, you're walking it. To the council, I want to ask you, as a citizen, as a grandmother, as a minister in the city, as a past county commissioner, I ask you to allow them to have Lockridge building. And while they're there, he told you what they're gonna do. They're gonna do what they say they're gonna do. They will take care of the building. And while they're on the ground, they get to play basketball, football, whatever ball they're gonna play out there. They will clean the ground and put it back in order. When they leave the building, it will be in order. And they will take care of it. They're not just talking to be talking. They mean what they say. And I back them 100%. I know some young men. That need their help. I witnessed it firsthand. In my own presence, I saw. He didn't know I was watching, but I saw him in action. A young man, I don't know if you remember, the young man stepped to me. The young man's on my heart. He's not my blood, but he's my spirit. And I'm very concerned about him and other young men as well. But you stepped to him with a disciplined tone and a serious look in your eye. And that showed respect for him, and he showed respect to you. And you were talking to him because he did something out of order. And you were putting him in order. And he needed to be corrected. And I want to thank you for that. Again, I don't know you, but I thank you. I thank you for Madison, for coming to Taylor County to help us put this on target. I appreciate you. Thank the council. Please allow them to have lockers. And if we need more people to come up here, let me know, brother. I'll bring them. I will bring them.
I mean, surely, when I come to things to speak, I want to be honored at the time, okay, because I, looking back, I want y'all to know something. I spoke about Taylor County and the guy that saved my son's life. But when I started Boys and Kings in my man cave, I said 10 by 20, it's pretty small. It was big to me because that's all we had. And I remember needing someone to come and speak to my youth for the first time. I had 3 to 4 youth. And another Taylor County resident, Tanya Bell, was the first speaker to ever come to my 10 by 20 man cave. And she spoke to the young guys about why it's important to respect women. You know, so if y'all know Tanya Bell, she's a legend. And we thank God for her. So I want to do this and I will be done. I promise you. A parent, these parents do not miss their parent huddle. You know, sometimes people be like, parents they don't show up, they don't do. But when they're valued, they will show up. And we value them. There's no big eyes, no little you. We all gonna die, man. But right now, we're here, we're gonna serve. Because God say after you, if you're gonna love God, you gotta love your sisters and brothers. So could you stand up for a second, ma'am, and just share? Remember for a second. I ain't gonna tell you what to say, man. Say whatever on your mind.
Megan Murphy, I'm at 4480 Harris School. This, it's hard for me to speak because, my husband didn't have a father. So seeing him be a mentor to young men and young women, because he has to attend those too, it touches me. As a mother of four, we both have 4 children, seeing him reach out to the community and be an inspiration to children, it just touches my heart. And I, as a wife of my husband, ask, whatever is possible. If it's not Lothridge, possibly someone else may have an idea, can point us in the right direction to be able to have a place for these 100 youth. We're just gonna look at it like that. Because the children need the discipline, they need the mentorship. It's like they said before, it's not easy. It takes a village, but if you don't have the heart, it's not there. But seeing the young ladies and the young men come in and be respectful and have a want to continue to coming back to the mentorship program, it just touches me as a mother, because Perry is so small, but at the same time, there isn't many resources here for young men or young women to go and have the leadership or that accountability. And that's all.
That's why I have a question. Thank you all for your time.
Have you all said Lothridge or some other place, have you all looked at any other locations?
I know that our desire is on Law Ridge.
Yes.
What?
Our desire is for Law Ridge.
Desires, well, I understand that, I just wondered if you had looked at any other possibilities.
May I answer your question?
Sure.
I was approached, as a matter of fact, about the child. They didn't have a place. And we have someone in our area who's able and willing to save our children. And it should always be yes. And I'm saying yes to God and love.
My only concern is that I know that the community uses that park a lot. And if you all are using it, then they can't use it. So that's my only concern.
Yeah, I think that can be worked out though. If ever, if it's even something that could be entertained, I'm quite sure we can sit down and have a discussion about that because our services are not every single day. We have times that we meet with our youth in the evenings, and we don't do anything on weekends either. It's mainly throughout the week. But that'll be something that we can have a discussion about. If you all want to entertain it, we don't mind coming back and sitting down and talking about it.
John, what you?
They probably didn't get to read the email from Attorney Demps, but she had pretty good memorandum on it and a lot of the safeguards we want to include in a contract. I think that's what we ought to do, put a lease contract together for y'all to look at and approve and make sure we have these. I can read them in your emails, what's the safeguards you want to include, but you can talk about it now if you want.
Is her right here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, I hope it's excused. Actually, I didn't put that in the memo. I'm in trouble. All right, I did not put that in the memo. No, first of all, I want to say that you guys, I think this is a wonderful proposal, and as a person who worked with having Boys and Girls Club be established in Mayo, Florida, as a part of a community development center that had already pre-existed through a lot of programs that were DJJ funded at first. I understand there's an interesting balance when you have a primary renter that also needs to give way to community renters. So I'm very curious to see how we can work that out, being that this is much different because it is property owned by the city. I don't think that it's something that can't be overcome. So I don't know who will be the agent to work those type of terms out, but I did provide a list of, just safeguards that we could consider, so things that, I don't know if you've had to in the homes, you mentioned Hamilton County and Leon County, your organization has a home, is it like typically a government property, or when you said?
So in Madison, it's through a church, and, you know, they know what we're doing. It's in their backyard, so they just say, y'all take it over. The city sold it to them for like $1. And they let us use like, been up for like 5-6 years. To add it on to the back of it for more space. And in Hamilton, it's a J.R. Lee, it's an old school that they utilize, that sound familiar? J.R. Lee building, and that group of people, they love it, and they let us utilize it. And we have gave them donations, they don't want rent, they just want to make sure your children are safe. And then,
And I look forward to speaking more thoroughly with you and the Taylor County representatives. I know that it has a really good reputation, although it hasn't been in Perry a long time. So just by just way of information, things that we're gonna be looking for, I would think as a council is liability insurance.
yeah,
Good, I love the fact that you said that very quickly, because we're dealing with people's children. All hands need to be on those grounds. Also looking at potentially some type of liaison or advisory role with a broad base of maybe Perry, Florida residents, being that there's no, and maybe there is, but there's no direct connection between whatever your metrics are to fulfill for your DJJ, or even maybe for Madison or Leon, I don't know, but something that where there could be some assistance also, because that's a lot to take on the building, even if it's just the building. So maybe I'm speaking around the circle, but maybe some type of community board to assist with particularly those non-BTK G2Q issues, like renting out, to other people, right? Because we do have a particular standard. All those things can be worked on. Again, my biggest concern was liability insurance. So you saying yes was like yes, because we definitely need to make sure that those things are taken care of. But yeah, something that connects to a community board accountability that both the city can invest in and you all can invest in as you work on what that means to run a community group and potentially be over a public space that other people rent. And that is a little bit different than even what Women's Club does or Girls and Boys Club does. But I think it's a really great effort to try to maybe have a more equitable treatment of groups that were not a part of the 100-year history, the 60-year history where City of Perry was given leases for $1. So I'm glad to see you all here. I'm so excited about Girls to Queens. Who else come in? So I just look forward to talking more about what that can look like. And I know City Manager John Hart and Council Member Shirley Hampton are very gung-ho about this. So I hate that more people are not here to hear it. If you could come back, I would suggest you come back, because I think people should hear it. And the more people understand that you're investing in the community, and if they're renting from Lockridge, they're not only now renting from the city, but they have opportunity to show that we can take pride in our own community and keep up with the facility. Because no longer you're gonna just come up here and blame the city. If you guys are potentially the primary renters, I want everybody to be ready to take on that and not overpromise and underdeliver. Let's do it the opposite. Let's underpromise and overdeliver for these kids and for what you're trying to do. So, those are my comments. And again, I was like, do they have insurance? Because insurance is a big deal and it's not cheap. So those type of things I look forward to having conversations with and determining what kind of agreement. And I'm particularly looking at my Perry people, because you may know some people who could be the Miss Casey's of the world or other partners like Tanya Bell, who are invested in this city and understands like the mores and the standards that we would want to uphold, regardless of what the organization may be. And I'm sure that your organization is excellent, but I'm just saying those type of connections would be, I think, very important regarding a public benefit to Perry, Florida citizens.
So much the question of that tape coming back to have that discussion with you.
No.
Do we have that just to see? Cause I'm not. You have to get it down. I can't read it, but could we discuss that? Are they illegal? We'll discuss that.
No, it's
I
not.
wanna know now.
No, it's not illegal. The council has not voted on anything yet.
Correct.
So that's why I was suggesting, I have no power as to that, I'm just a lawyer. I would suggest, because you're gonna have to convince 5 people, if you could do another presentation or be open to it, do that. But the idea of what contract terms are, we can definitely talk about that. They just can't discuss it amongst themselves because of sunshine law.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah,
Along with John Howard.
go ahead.
I said along with John Howard.
Yes, I was just saying whoever, well, let me say non-elected officials like Mr. Hart and myself and talk about potential terms.
Let's try to get a lease contract together to bring the next meeting.
You know, the next meeting is the millage meeting, so you mean the meeting after that? Okay, okay.
What do y'all wanna start?
We could do it the next meeting.
When do y'all wanna start?
Yesterday.
That's what I'm. Let's try to pull something together, let's get something written down. Don't you think?
You know, when we're talking about lease and all that, all of it sound good, but if we look into all the aspects of, you know, and now I have a boys and girls club that I do at the church responsible for. There's a lot of other stuff that is included in it, we have to make sure it's understood. You just can't, and then, you know, the flop belong to the people, they don't belong to the city council. Don't belong to the city manager. If somebody thought that, that's fine. And so we need to, if you want, I don't say you shouldn't, it sounds good, but there's a lot of stuff we need to work out before we get to that point. To say one thing and do something else is different. Say, I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to do that. And it's more than just no. I've been into 10 years, I've been into the Boys and Girls Club thing in Mayo at our church. It's something we had really take a chance to look at and work out. There's a lot of other stuff that just don't come up today. Want to be a part, other stuff you gotta work out and be responsible.
Reverend Dempsey has spoken. A lot of our senior community members. And I know it probably takes more than that. But they were all happy about it. And in support of what we're trying to do.
Well, you know, sometimes,
Got you.
no, you know, sometimes in our grade and you have 100 happy, so you have 5 angry.
We got
And
it.
it make the 100 unhappy. So, and I think it's a good thing, and we need more mentorship by forward. Seems like it's this direction. But it needs to kind of have to spell out, it's clear, you start talking about these for 100 years or what have you before. Cause there's some other stuff that be involved, and they all better work by responsibility, who's responsible for, who is, a lot of stuff that. When you start bringing people in your public facility, then it's another responsibility, even in a public facility. We having to, do some things to make sure that things are working out.
And I think if I can, this is my father, but I'm not speaking to him as my father. I think also what, I mentioned liability insurance. And depending on the type of insurance you have, it could really be upwards to $23,000 a year. So sometimes it's cost prohibitive. People use the same words, but when you get into the mires, from everything to, God forbid, well, there's certain things I won't say because we have mixed company, but you know, leaders get in trouble with children, having that kind of insurance. So there's like, I'm just use the word, the Geico insurance, and then like the Cadillac insurance. So when I mention insurance, I was just saying, I look forward to talking about what kind of insurance and what kind of things that can be done. Because today, unfortunately, it's just a harder road, but I think at least just knowing from previous conversations, just the idea there's more than a notion that, the idea that it can be very expensive, but I'm glad you all are funded. So that's just a matter of like.
That's your father?
Yes, I sort of claim him, but not right now, I'm gonna try.
No, I respect what he's saying, cause
It is more.
I've been doing this since 2009. It ain't easy. And you know, you gotta almost not care what folks think of. There's always pushback when you're doing positive things. But if I listen to this and that, we wouldn't be here today. So I'm ready for all that, brother. My son,
Well, we cut back on the responsibility about 8 years ago, 10 years ago. And, but we cut it up this year, and situation was the church had raised $2,000 a month just to pay this up in insurance, but the bill. So it brought about a little different. But it worked out, probably with you for the reason and for good place and doing a good job. Or school raised them, zero to what it was, to 8. That's a, but it was just a lot of responsibility and things that worked out for this day that. It ain't just you breathe out in the morning and wake up in the evening, it's done. There's a lot of stuff to be done to make it right.
thank you, sir.
We appreciate you coming and look forward to you coming back.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
I know we have the information, we have. Or let me just have it right.
Next item on the agenda is 6B, the council to discuss the proposed budget for the fiscal year 26-27, and the council take any actions being necessary.
Discuss it with, I can't take any action on it.
We're not gonna take any action because we don't have a forum, and
I won't take action anyway until, September.
I'm sorry.
You don't take action anyhow until September.
Right.
This is just for review.
Okay.
But some of our state's numbers came back a lot lower than we anticipated, so we had to make some more cuts to a few areas.
Good. That sounds, that's good news.
So bad news, they came back lower, this, our revenue sharing.
Yeah. We're gonna see that a lot, of praise in years ahead, but we will deal with it as it comes. Okay, item 6E, ordinance 1062, introduction to first reading ordinance. An ordinance of the city council of the city of Perry, Florida, amending the city of Perry Code of Ordinances, chapter 50, utilities, article 2, water, division 2, rates and charges, section 50-624, rates and water rates and other charges by adding subsection J, private fire hydrant inspection, flushing and testing fees, providing for codification, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Can we bring all of this back
Yeah,
at
you
the
can't,
next meeting?
can't have a first reading without a quorum.
I'm gonna say like, it's a first reading, but it won't count.
Yeah. We definitely do.
But that's, I told you all about this one last meeting. This is the one for the
Yes.
fire department can finally get the documentation they need for the private hydrants.
We'll get any feedback
From
from the businesses.
I'll get the rate set by ordinance before we send it out, that letter out. You don't have to set rates. I don't want to send that letter out without a rate on there.
We can't do anything today.
The next item is 6F, ordinance number 1063, introduction and first reading ordinance. An ordinance of the city of Perry, Florida, amending the city code to create a citywide permit process for the service, sale, and consumption of alcoholic beverages within designated enclosed area of the public right-of-way adjacent to qualifying businesses, providing definitions, providing application, review, and operational standards, requiring approval of the licensed premises by the Florida Division of Alcoholic Beverages and Tobacco. requiring insurance, indemnification, and revocable right-of-way use agreement, providing for suspension, revocation, enforcement, severability, codification, conflicts, and effective date. This has come about last week. We were presented with a proposal for the, what's the name of it? The new business is opening,
Half house.
the Tap House, and they wanted to lease a portion of the sidewalk with a cover over it and fence it in and use it for, serving. And we needed an ordinance if we were gonna do that, because there will be other entities that might want to do the same thing. So we felt like it was prudent on our part to develop an ordinance. We can't vote on it tonight, but I'm just putting it out there so the Jim knows what it's all about.
Attorney Dempsey did give y'all another memo on it. It's got some pretty good points to consider. She emailed it to you
I emailed it to you.
at 3 o'clock.
Most of it is pretty, simple. I mean, and it also is reflected in the application that may not have gone into the ordinance, just making it clear that the term could be a year like many of our permits are, and they have to renew it every year. It also allows for inspection.
We didn't like that internally because it's gonna be more work on us. That's why I had it in there originally, took it out, that it would only change if you had like a change of ownership or something like that. We can do it anyway. It's just,
You could, I mean, here's one of the challenges, because it is work, but if you have particularly an alcohol service area, I would think in order for safety concerns, that we would need to have, maybe not every year, every 18 months, some type of opportunity, because you also have a right to inspect. So, but I get what you're saying, it's administratively, anytime you have to do it annually, but I would suggest that we consider doing it more, but I get what you're saying. So the proposed additions have not been approved by anyone, they're just suggestions. And I apologize, I wasn't here last week when it came up, so I sent the memo. It's really not as long as it sounds, but I was noting there to be an annual, one where we, just for a broad base have where maybe the service area, if they use it right away, it has a limit as to how much it can take up. 50% may be a little bit too much. In other words, you're taking sidewalks and roads possibly, so having it clear, whatever that description is, how much can be taken up of a right of way for the alcohol service area. I was suggesting that we do include a provision regarding minors, clarify when minors may be present in the service area, consistent with indoor premises like any other restaurant that also may serve alcohol. Noting when there's a decision that would be expected to be given by whatever the designee is. I put city manager regarding someone asking or applying for that permit, and that if it's denied, just an opportunity for appeal. So really, it's not that many changes. It's just the idea of like, how do we stay on top of it, particularly given that this will be the first ordinance of its kind in our city. So that's just a short memo, but as you can tell, it doesn't change the heart of what it is, just more administrative.
I got a question. If you don't permission to make fresh opinions, then what about other people that we have decided to drop off the sidewalk? Will they get the same privilege that just respect of that?
it's a citywide ordinance.
I'm saying if we start giving the city right away, the city right, people put up stuff over on it and all that. So if that in town, probably gonna do, put up on it and take it from town. So you have to do it, one is gonna have to do better.
Well, I think we have to make some restrictions about that particular sidewalk. It's wider than the normal
But if it's
sidewalk.
owned by the city, then who has the responsibility? If something happens to somebody owns the city property, who's responsibility? That's what I'm saying, you got people drinking and all, it could be a good possibility for something happening. So who's gonna have responsibility? That's all I'm asking, just wanna know.
Well, part of what you all would be looking at, I guess at the next meeting, Mr. Hart put forth the indemnity language for an agreement where the owner asking for a permit would have to have liability insurance to cover, if there's any incident and indemnify the city. And this particular exception is focusing mostly on alcohol service areas. It's not sort of, a full broad permission, but I understand you're saying, well, why not everybody be able to have it? But, this particular thing would be sort of rewriting the way the zones are. But, so when we come back in session with the quorum, you all be looking at an ordinance. You'll be looking at a potential, leasing agreement regarding indemnity and insurance. And there was a third thing you had, the application process for businesses. And that was in your packet. And I emailed you the memo.
Okay. Did y'all want to speak to this?
I was just gonna answer his question about the lease space, so it becomes a land lease from the city to the restaurant owner or business owner. So they assume all the liability, so no, it lists a liability from the city, based on land lease. So just like you would lease right away to DOT or other city properties or county properties, it's the same thing, and we just assume the liability based on a lease. So, just answer my question.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take another look at this another day.
What time?
Item 6G. Introduction, ordinance number 1064, introduction and first reading. An ordinance of the city council of the city of Perry, Florida, amending charter chapter 40. Article 3. Parks and recreation areas of the city of Perry, code of ordinances, amending section 40-53.
You don't have to read it all, because it's not the first reading.
What?
You don't have to read it all, since it's not the actual first reading. You have to have the first reading at the next meeting.
Just so that I know what it's about, but okay.
John, would these people be treated for trespassing or? I mean, with the new.
Well, we can't move on this tonight anyway, so we'll move on.
This,
I have something. Having to do with this ordinance. The ordinance. What our police officers do. Why can't you patrol? Why can't we patrol the area? And remove these people from bathing and the splash pad?
right now, we don't have anything written down saying they can't do that. That's what I'm trying to get from this document.
That's what I read,
That's, we gotta pass the ordinance. That's not in there now.
right?
So once we do pass that, we probably give them
Yeah,
a
but
warning first.
we need to discuss it beforehand. And is the chief out for surgery?
So right now, the parks are patrolled. Anybody violating park rules is pretty much warned for that and or trespass, depending on the rule. Of course, you have park hours, so those have to be adhered to as well, and people are warned about that trespass as well. The problem is whenever our children get out of school and their parents want to take them to the parks, and you have people out there lounging around on the table and actually sleeping on picnic tables, or as they say, relaxing on picnic tables. We know what they're doing, but with this ordinance, it would make it a lot more clear as to what we could do in regard to having those people exit the park, so they're actually allowing our children to play at the park and it not to be a sleepover, so.
So as it stands, there's nothing you all can do now.
We can ask them to, you know, get up off the table, but, I mean, unless they're really egregiously doing something wrong, there's not a whole lot, I mean,
Don't have,
it's not illegal to be homeless, hang out in the park right now, so,
don't have a lottery.
in a city park,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to order in a city park.
yeah.
If they're taking a bath and a splash pad.
If they're taking a bath at the splash pad, you know, hopefully this ordinance will kind of define what a bath is.
But what can we do now? As well?
We can ask them not to take a bath at the splash pad, but it's a splash pad, people get under it and watch off, so. What is a bath? I mean,
It's normally the adults that's doing it, right? So it's nothing we can do.
if they're violating park rules, yes, ma'am, there's something we can do, it's not against the
But that's
rules
not-
right now to get under there and watch your cell phone.
Okay,
I mean, let's be honest, if they break out the shampoo and the soap, they will probably do something about that, but, which we discussed in our leadership meeting, but. This would definitely help us actually be able to use the parks for what they're intended for.
Right.
For our kids to play and have a good time.
thank you, Kent.
All right. All right, moving on, item 6H, council to appoint one citizen to serve on the Perry Fire Pension Board of Trustees and council to take any actions deemed necessary. Nobody's come forward. We do ask, we do need people to serve on this board, so if you all know someone that, would be interested and would be willing, then get their name to us. So
I'm not gonna ask.
She's already shaking her head though.
I'm shaking my head.
So the fire department is, and does have somebody in mind, so the fire department,
they do.
yes, they are going to talk to somebody this week about potentially being a member of the board.
Right. Okay, item 6I is approval of the minutes of last week's meeting, but we can't do that. We don't have enough people here to vote. City manager, do you have something to report or? Okay. City attorney, do you have something to report?
I do. I'll make it brief. I just wanted to, again, apologize for not making it to last week's or last meeting. I was trying my best to get down here. And I did watch on Zoom and saw the porn situation, and I was just like accusing my new husband of doing things. And it was like, there was the Zoom. That was supposed to be funny. I guess it didn't come out because I thought of it when I said it. But I wanted to share with council that many may not know. In June, I attended the Florida Municipal Attorneys Association Conference in someplace close to Naples, Florida. And it was a really great opportunity to meet with other expert and longstanding municipal attorneys throughout the state. And I just really look forward to like building those relationships. And I'm noting that also because every year that I've been city attorney, I've attended the Florida League of Cities Conference. And this year, because I guess I blew the budget by going to the Attorneys Association, I was able to get the city to pay for the conference fee, but I did pay for a hotel. And without even talking about transportation, that cost easily $1,500. So I was sitting here standing in total agreement with Mr. Jackson as he was saying, I think that we need more money budgeted for training, not less. To go to the Florida League of Cities this year, and no other city council representative was there. And although I was city attorney, I kept saying, I'm here for my council. Is there any good ideas? Because there are cities that are similarly situated that are doing really great things. So if you're not able to go to the conference, which I know now the budget has been eliminated for the most part, reading those newsletters they send digitally, I just think it would be really inspiring. I would like to submit, and he doesn't know this, John Hart for one of the awards before the end of the year, because I think that I didn't ask your permission or tell you, but I think that, to be able to tell other people in similarly situated cities that our freshly new city manager was able to garner over $100,000 in grants, that's nothing that's, sneeze at. 100 million, what did I say, 100,000? Yeah, I'm sorry, 100 million. And even our city council, I just think we've been doing a really great job, so I think with the training opportunities, more than training, but connecting to other places may give us and give the council some encouragement as well as some ideas for what new steps we have to take. This conference, they were really pushing and had extra security fighting the proposed amendment 3 regarding property taxes. And it's interesting because sort of being here in Perry, you just think like it's a done deal, but there's a lot of organizations going strongly against this property tax amendment because it's gonna gut out a lot of budgets. And so also this year, if the council would like, I would love to see possibility of us joining in the October or November Florida League of Cities, like Rep Your City type thing. Because one of the things that we definitely see tonight and see with particularly youth programming that's coming here, whether it's from the acting group or something, our city needs an infusion of hope. And so I think that even though that's not policy related, I think it's public care related. So I just, when Mr. Jackson was talking, I was like, yes, we need more people going, not less. So I just wanted to note that, but I know for most people, I mean, including myself as a newlywed, $1,500 is nothing to sneeze at. And also, and this will be probably for the next, not the next meeting, the meeting after next. A lot was also shared about cities relooking at things that they've ignored that could possibly be generating income, like lien enforcements. So now the cities are losing out potentially on a bulk of other ways of income. They're starting to look back at other things, almost like when your money is funny, you start thinking about who owes you money. And we have millions, according to our documents, of people who owe us. That may not be the cure, but I look forward to again, exploring those type of possibilities. But also, just to follow up for the last, I think it was 2 meetings ago, or maybe it was the last meeting. I did complete interviews with all parties concerned and other review of evidence regarding the situation that happened at Jerkins and our city manager. And I will be placing a report in writing to all the council, but by the next meeting. So if there's any outstanding information or concerns, please let me know. But I thought I would have it done by this meeting, but I wasn't able to.
Promise.
I promise, it could be a 1-page memo, but I will have a report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Sherry, do you have something to? No.
Not really. But whatever the matters Miss Dan and all. Will be joining us sometime soon.
Looking forward to it.
Wish you could have
What's
started
the
today.
date?
We should start there.
Should be at the end of November meeting.
November.
I don't know what happened. Cause I came on in August,
That's
and the
something,
next 4 years it was August. And then all of a sudden, it's November.
that's something that Ray interpreted in the charter. So if Ms. Tips wants to look at the charter and interpret it a different way,
Yeah, starting time.
I think it depends on whether the seat's empty or not.
I took my first term, I took office in August too.
Yeah.
So,
I think we can look into that.
Okay, I didn't know there was an issue. Okay. I will look into that.
they didn't have to go to the election in November, they go ahead and take the seat after the primary.
Oh, after the primary, since there was no general election to be held.
But then, Ray and Brown, Taylor Brown interpreted the charter to mean until after the general election.
Ms. Farley, did you have anything?
Just reminding that the next meeting will be on a Thursday, September 10th.
because of having to move around the school board and the county's budget schedules.
Thank you for that reminder. Does anybody else have anything to bring before this council tonight? Not the meeting is adjourned.
Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall.
Yes. And here.
The name of the recording, please, say something.